Celtic, Jotta, Matt O'Reilly, Reo Hatate, and Sead Haksabanovic said to be good enough for Premier League, said journalist Michael Gannon. And Celtic not rushing players to Premier League, insists Ange Postecoglou, as we are building something here. With club football taking a break to allow the Winter World Cup to take place, the Celtic FC took the opportunity to maintain fitness and spread the global brand with a trip to Australia. Indeed, Celtic took on English outfit Everton earlier this week and held their opposition to a 0-0 draw, before then ultimately losing the game on penalties. However, when speaking about the efforts of the players on the pitch, Gannon singled out a handful who he believed could make it in the English top flight should the opportunity arrive in the future. He named Jotta, Matt O'Reilly, Reo Hatate, and Sead Haksabanovic as 4 men who could do a job in the Premier League. He wrote, "It's always hard to properly judge in bounce games, but this was an interesting encounter against a team with ambitions to be competing at the top end in England. On this evidence, Celtic have a good few players who could cut it at that level. Jotta is more than capable, and Scott Nathan Patterson won't come up against many tougher opponents on a weekly basis in the EPL. Matt O'Reilly and Reo Hatate world also stroll it, while Sead Haksabanovic is another who wouldn't look out of place at that level. The money down south makes it the prime market for Celtic to punt players, and these guys are top assets already. Don't be surprised if they get the chance to prove their Premier League class in the near future." Celtic not rushing players to Premier League, insists Ange Postecoglou, as Celtic are building something here. Also, Postecoglou is a hero in the land of the rising sun following his title-winning time in charge of Yokohama F. Marinos, and believes the nation could be the next frontier for the Parkhead side. He said, "Absolutely. I know how big a market that is as well. That's not me driving it, that's Michael Nicholson, Chris McKay, and the commercial and management team." The Celtic manager said this is a key factor to help Celtic FC bridge financial disparity with European giants. Postecoglou said, "It is that too. We know the financial disparity that exists between us and the teams we want to compete with, particularly in Europe. Everything we can do commercially to make this club stronger, the more revenue we generate. The club doesn't put the money in the bank, it's about making the club stronger. I'm all for these kinds of things that make our club stronger, because that's how we bridge the gap. There are plenty of clubs who have a stronger financial base than us, but don't have the worldwide support that we do. Why not tap into it? That's how big clubs operate, and that's what we have to want to be. That's what we are. We just need to be disciplined about what we do, and not get sidetracked by other things if we are to be the club we know we can be." Ange Postecoglou doesn't want to lose any of his key players to the English Premier League in the upcoming transfer window. Postecoglou recently admitted at Celtic's AGM that the Parkhead side would cash in on players to reinvest in their squad, but that's not on the Aussie manager's current agenda. When asked if 4 or 5 of his players could shine down south, Postecoglou replied, "That's not for me to judge. I certainly don't want them to go at the moment. Again, that's part of who we want to be as a football club. I said a few weeks ago, all these things need to be designed to be stronger every year. We can't plateau. We can't just be a dominant team in our own backyard. We want to be more than that. To do that, all these other things are important, because that's how we bridge the gaps and have an advantage over other clubs who don't have this access to worldwide exposure." And on that note, have a great Monday, Celtic fans.